right, I call this meeting to order. Public comment is next on the agenda. Anybody from the public wants to speak?
No, thanks.
No? Okay, all right. You missed your opportunity there. Consent agenda.
Reserved for every agenda item, though. Go ahead.
You know I try to bend the thing in my direction, right? So, you know, okay. We got the minutes of August 8th and a financial report for August, I presume, 8th as well. Anybody want to make a motion?
So moved. Second.
I have a motion, I have a second. Jason, you picking anything out there?
What's that? No, we're good.
No,
We're good.
We're all good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Vote.
All those in favor of both the minutes and the financial reports?
I'll just recuse on the minute. Oh, no, I was here. Okay. No, I was absent. No, so I got to recuse. I wasn't at that meeting, so
All right.
I'll recuse on the record on the minutes, but good on the financial report. So I don't know if you want to take the minutes separate.
We'll do the minutes separate.
Okay. All right.
All those in favor?
Aye.
I'll abstain.
Because I wasn't here either.
Okay, does this affect the minutes?
Well, I don't know, but I believe that you don't have to be present to approve, to be part of the minutes, because you're just accepting
You
it.
just
You're
can't.
not.
I don't think you can make a motion or a second, but it's okay to vote, even if you were here to approve it. I think.
I don't know.
Well, I think I'd rather get clarification on that. I'll just abstain.
Being the attorney, you probably should make the decision,
Yeah,
sir.
I'll just abstain.
Alright, so we'll do 4 ayes and abstain, and that is Jason and Jay. Got it. Okay?
That's for both the minutes and the financial.
No, that's the
Well,
minutes.
just
Now we
the
have to do the
minutes.
financials next.
Okay.
Alright.
Financial report.
I'll make a motion to move.
Move. Have a second?
Second.
Second. Okay.
Alright. Any questions?
We okay? On the
All in
financials?
favor? Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Let's vote on that then. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Nothing.
6 ayes.
I have a question, and since our treasurer isn't here, what do we pay, why do we pay the IRS? Oh, that's your withholding. That's part of your withholding.
Yes.
That's it,
Yeah,
never mind.
So that's part of it, that's taken out of payroll.
Yeah, never mind.
Okay, we good? Good. Okay, public comment? There is no public comment.
I'll just throw it out there for, you were actually correct. Members who are absent from a meeting can still vote on the approval of the minutes and offer corrections.
That's
Okay, perfect, thank you.
That was fast.
Robert's Rules of Order.
You are good for something.
There you go.
I've been debating that for a long time.
I wanted to know that, who said that? I did not say that. I think you're good for a lot of things.
Well, thank you. I
Yes.
appreciate that.
Good
I
job, you
appreciate
do a
that you did you.
good job.
Yeah.
Okay. You want to speak from the public standpoint?
No, that's it.
Okay, so there's no other public here. Anybody have questions, discussion, deliberations, or anything else like that? No? Okay, so the action by the board basically has all been taken back in the minutes and the financial side. The way I read it. Okay, presentation updates. I'll start from the president's side of things. All I can tell you is progress has been made with the city. So October is the month that we think we will own 2 pieces of property.
Both of the parking lots.
Yes,
Fantastic.
both of the parking lots.
October.
I believe it is
And then
in
Kent is
the
too.
month of October, which goes all the way through October 31. Okay.
And why not to November 1?
Right. Things have moved. My side of things have moved very well. And if you have not met Renee, meet Renee, or I'll help set it up for everybody.
Is he gonna talk to us?
He's talked to a small group of
Talked
us
to the-
previous, but he will come back. And he'll probably come back once we know 2 pieces of property taken care of.
How often is our executive board meeting with Renee?
Hasn't happened yet, or there's no schedule. We're trying to get it set up on a quarterly basis.
Okay.
So and I think there's a lot of waiting happening until kind of the election. So we're kind of seeing what that's going to turn into, right? I think that's part
But the
of
goal is once a
We're
quarter
trying-
for
we're
to
trying
have
to,
it, that'd be
yeah.
great.
We're trying to
Yeah.
stay out of the elected way from the standpoint. Renee's been very good, and I'm not going to speak with David, we've not seen a reason to want to go in there.
So there's not a bullseye on your back?
No,
Okay.
no, I've not had any of that, but I've not had any conversations in that direction at all. So, okay, are you reporting to treasurers, or we're just,
I have nothing.
okay. And let's go down to then you as the district coordinator.
Got it. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but the mural is completed. Don't want to jump, that's not necessarily a DISI thing, but I want to let you guys know that we're going to have a ribbon cutting for that at the end of the month. Invitation is probably going to go out today. Other than that,
Wait a minute, I passed by it yesterday, it looked beautiful, and I said, so that
It
means
is.
that other painting on the site, there's nothing gonna go there?
you're talking about the blank space?
Yeah.
That's done, it's done,
It was done?
it's done.
It's really well done.
Wow,
So that there's like it goes all the way to the roof.
yeah,
And then there's a few blocks where it kind of like blends into the paint, and
Yeah.
that's it. So,
oh, okay.
Maybe it'd be nice to prepare a flyer or something to hang up, and
Yeah.
see if the businesses, like just the downtown businesses would put it, head or heels, or you know what I mean, the shops that are bringing in people so that they know that we're gonna have a ribbon cutting and
yeah, no, I'll
maybe
send it out
ask
to everybody.
see, yeah. But even just, I mean, I will get the emails, which is great, but maybe having a couple of
Sure.
the shops and stuff downtown, and see if we can just sort of put it in the coffee shops or whatever, so people could see it and maybe attend.
Just heads up, we are doing it with the chamber, so the chamber is gonna do a ribbon cutting with us. We're putting in all of our mailing lists, we're gonna invite the public, we're gonna invite the media, we're gonna invite all sorts of people. and
Invited
all-
to go to the chamber, because Gabe and
Right.
Jasmine will have it.
So it'll go out literally to a couple thousand people.
Yep.
And so that's happening. And then on the newsletter, I've been sending out the newsletter for the last couple of months with all the events and pictures of whatever people send me, right? I mean, I have to hunt for some of this stuff, but generally, whatever people send me, I include it on the newsletter. I'm getting lots of positive responses from that. People like it. Our pressure washing happened at the end of the month, last month. People like that. Next one is scheduled to, and I'll put this in the newsletter again, is scheduled to start on September 22nd, the week of the 22nd. It's gonna hit 1 through 400 and the side streets, spot cleaning. What else? Those are the big ones.
I've got two curiosity questions.
Yes, sir.
Often there are lights on,
Yes.
and if the city's paying the bill, why would we care? But if we're paying it, I'm just curious.
I can clarify. So the lights that you're seeing on during the day
Yeah.
is because I hit the override switch. Because I'm working on the arch or
Okay,
things
okay,
like that.
okay.
Currently, the lights are off during the day.
Okay,
So the other thing is all the outlets are on. If the traffic, I'm sorry, if the street lights are on, it also means the outlets are on.
that's a solenoid. That's an automatic.
It's a ka-ching-ching, yeah,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
a photovoltaic
Okay.
solenoid. And they are currently off, but there is an override switch, and I'll flip that switch
Okay.
to work on stuff. I've also submitted 15 work orders to the city yesterday to fix a bunch of the outlet boxes that have been kicked off and whatnot. So we'll see what happens.
My second one, briefly, is homeless.
Yes.
Caltrans, through the governor's order or whatever, I don't know, but there are no, if you go up and down 101, which I do with frequency, there is no homeless. I mean, if they're there, they're gone the next day. My curiosity is, where are they? What is the, let me ask that differently. What is their presence in downtown as a result of what is happening with Caltrans?
You know, we're seeing some transient traffic, not a whole lot. Our security is actually keeping a pretty good eye on it. The same thing with like tagging and things associated with that. We have a thread going between security, maintenance, myself. Whenever we see tagging, we tackle it like as fast as we can. And you can actually tell the difference when you cross our boundary, our district boundary. Like the moment you leave our district, there's tags everywhere, and our district is relatively tag free, or at least when we find them, we catch them, or we ping over it. So things like that, we're picking up things as fast as we see them.
It's the only way to do it.
So it's not necessarily an inviting location to hang out in that regard. Does that make sense?
With all the publicity of the mountain land, I don't imagine there's too many folks sleeping in the doorways.
Right.
I mean, that made ABC national news. I couldn't believe it.
That's true.
Hey Greg, on the tagging, is that, so if it's on private property, like somebody's building, do you just outreach to the property owner, or does
A little bit
we
of
say,
both.
hey, we're willing to, we need to get rid of that? Because I noticed, again, on Sal's building, there's two like big tags like up on top of the E, that's like super prominent, so.
Yeah.
Like who handles that? Is it notice to the owner to?
Notice, I for like some of the big stuff, I reach out. For like the little stuff, especially when it's touching Main Street, we usually just take care of it.
Okay.
But yes,
Like cleaning agents or something?
yeah, mostly just scrubbing it off. Occasionally it requires paint, but we have we've been experimenting pretty good, I think, with cleaning stuff. And I think we found some formulas or some materials.
Or remove spray paint?
Yeah. There's like Goo Gone style sprays that we use, and most of the stuff comes right off. So just a little elbow grease.
And part of our district, is it like, if I'm on Salinas Street, right, coming, like right across the street from Casa Sereno and
Yes.
like Grapes and Grains, right? We're right there, and it goes, and it's not as far as the library, right, but then it's,
The library's part of it.
the library's part of it.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I walked over, not to the library yesterday, but I walked over to that building, the gray one on Salinas Street.
Yes.
It is disgusting. Like, it's disgusting. Like, I literally called my client and said, I'm not coming to your business.
Which building is that again?
Like the gray, there's like the gray, I don't even know the address, but it has like like marble building, you know what I mean, right on the corner.
Salinas Square, that one?
Yeah.
Oh,
Right across
yeah.
from the church?
Yep,
Okay.
yep, right, like catty corner to the church, across the street from Strickland Laporte, and then across the street
Yeah.
from,
3 Salinas Square.
Yeah, yeah.
It's-
What's wrong with it?
it smells like urine, and there is garbage everywhere right there. Like,
Randy Pearl is still over that?
I don't know, but it is, they're trying to sell it, and it is absolutely horrendous. I did not even feel like there's
The
people.
inside of the building?
No, the inside's perfect, but it's the outside, you know, is disgusting. Like, I did not even feel comfortable, like literally was walking over to meet somebody
In the parking lot area?
in the parking lot and on the sidewalk, like, so I was gonna walk to the front,
I'll tell Kevin to stop by.
and then, like, there was a bunch of stuff, like, in their doorway, so you can't even get into the square, right? There was a bunch of stuff all right there, and then so I was like, oh, I'm gonna go around this
Shopping
way.
carts and like
Just stuff, like, you know, no shopping carts, but it's just stuff that was there that
That's-
people were leaving.
That's from the church.
Yeah,
That's
and
the
then-
folks at the church.
The lady who's there, I don't know who she is, her name's Julie, and it's because she will often sleep in front of my door, and I will politely ask her to please move. And some days she's really great, majority, 99% of the time, she's actually really nice. She's like, okay, and then she just rambles on. Some days she's aggressive, you know what I mean? Those days I'll call
Be
please,
real,
but
be real careful there.
I just ask, hey, I'm opening, you need to move on. If for whatever reason she's still there, I'm like, you need to
Yeah.
move, I can't open my doors, you know? And then she'll grumble a little bit and move on, right? But she was out yesterday laying sprawled out and like there's stuff and food and everything just everywhere, all over the parking lot, all over the sidewalk, with just bags of stuff along the whole building. And I was like, oh, like, and it smells like urine so bad over there. Like,
So
So
we,
are you
I think we need to call the property owner.
Kevin getting over there?
he does, Kevin gets in there.
I think I mean, yeah, it's bad on a daily basis, right?
Yeah.
But I think we need to maybe reach out to the property owner.
Well, if Randy Pearl still owns that, Randy is on the ball. A call to him would be productive, I believe.
I think so too. I think if you talk to any of the property owners, they're willing to do something, but when you're walking around or you're trying to go in the building, I was like, oh,
Is there
no,
a
my
single
goodness.
tenant there, or is it a big
No, it's
office
like
building?
eight tenants.
That's got a whole bunch of
Monterey
tenants in
County,
that building. It's
Yeah.
probably 30
Over
or
50% of it.
probably
Monterey
25 or
County
30
is,
tenants in
Their
there.
job,
Yeah.
their job board, their job program is in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, Monterey County, but I'm like, people are not gonna walk in there, which, I mean, is disheartening, you know, and,
So I know for a fact that Kevin goes by there.
Uh-huh.
He's, the trash can in that, on both sides of that street, Lincoln. Trash cans have been tagged repeatedly, Kevin's cleaned them up.
it's full of trash every day, like, there's trash around it every day.
Yeah, on 3 Salinas Square, they have their dumpster area, and behind the dumpster area on private property, they just, well, the dumpster area is the whole thing, but behind that pony wall, they throw stuff. And then there's a little patch of dirt that is part of like a parking structure,
Yeah.
and there's constantly trash in there, and that's City of Salinas property. So, yeah, it's nonstop over there, and I know Kevin goes by.
And I mean, I know it's not our responsibility as downtown, but I just feel maybe since we are the downtown association, we definitely can reach out to the property owner so that they can maybe start sending somebody on a regular basis, you know, to keep it cleaned up over there, because
Yeah.
it's just bad.
Well, the parking structure, the first floor of the parking structure, I don't know if you've ever parked in there and took a sniff, but the city, I mean,
Yeah.
and the city just doesn't give a damn, to be just blunt about it.
Well, it's hard because you've got the homeless shelter at the church
Yeah,
that they just cost, there's a lot of crossing there, so it just,
It's hard to act like, so have a business owner downtown, right? And so our paid parking is right there for us to pay for the permit to have that parking.
yeah.
And so, I'm like, but none of my staff feel safe parking there, and it's disgusting, so we don't do that. Literally, my girls move their cars every 2 hours.
Yep.
And I just have them move their cars, because it's just not worth it for me, because it's not
We
safe.
haven't raised this with the city of Salinas.
not with that structure, no. Just the structure on Monterey Street, not the Salinas Street structure.
It's just
Sounds
horrendous
really-
for like the
Yeah.
300 block
Ongoing
parking
thing,
and
so.
businesses down
The
there.
first floor of this, the one by the,
Jim Gaddis's old
by
building,
community development.
on the
It's-
corner, where
it's
the old,
terrible.
it used to
The
be
one
meat
that's up by
market. and
community development.
Jim used to be in there.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
parking structure.
Well, I
The
know-
first floor of that
I'll check it out today.
is,
I
again,
think
to
I'm across,
go in and take a
where you have
sniff.
the building across the street from me.
Northwest corner of Main and San Luis.
Oh, right. That's what the building we're talking about?
Yep.
Yeah,
That's my, I mean, I'm right there.
That's your
Yes,
office.
yeah. And we just happen to have parking space,
Greg,
not everybody has
you
parking, we have
God.
parking, we actually have parking
I
in our
think
back
you
lot.
maybe should stop in and talk to the pastor at the church too. That,
I'm
you know,
downstairs.
the evidence of your clientele is clear. And they have guys running around doing stuff, picking up, you know,
Yeah.
stuff, but visit with the old pastor. Cause it's their clients, no question about it.
Maybe a meeting on site might be a good idea.
Yeah, that's even
And
better
have a
too.
couple of people there, you know. Randy, the property owner, the pastor,
That's a,
Amy.
and Strove.
huh?
And,
Struve,
yeah.
Bobby Struve, yeah.
Yeah. That's a good idea.
Yeah, let him, you know, enjoy the neighbors while he's hearing the message.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's just, I feel like, you know, we could maybe assist the businesses that are downtown, cause that's where the 300 block would pay to park, you know, they're for their employees, and it's just really difficult in that corridor. Thank you.
But you're saying that even up by the community development part,
No, it's at the south end.
so it's the south end? Oh, okay.
It's not up, but next to the building, well, it might be, I don't, I go in there, but the south end is.
Well, so the city has security over at that building, but I always see them standing by the front door.
Right.
Perhaps they need to,
They're not in the garage.
no, perhaps they need to start covering the garage. And ask, well, we can ask Lisa if.
Yeah,
They can patrol the garage area as well.
put it on the city manager's agenda.
It's their private property,
Yeah.
or their city property.
Yes, indeed.
Okay.
So that's basically my report or update.
Okay. No public comments, no public,
No actions.
actions there, so let's get into, are you covering DISI?
No,
No, okay.
I don't know.
No, that's,
I'm gonna
no,
be
that's,
happy
no,
to. I
that's,
some
no,
on this
no,
floor.
no, that's fine, that's fine, okay. And
But
then-
I'll do SOBO.
There you go.
Greg had put together, so this is how we have the blocks separated, so that we can go ahead and choose block captains for each one of these sections. And so we do have some people here already that are gonna be block captains, and then we're trying to figure out maybe who the alternatives could be. And our goal is to have these people touch base with us, I don't know, look, once a month, once every couple weeks, sort of letting us know, or if there's an issue. These block captains will just take a little look, let us know what's going on with their streets, landscaping, and any of their concerns, so that they can sort of represent their block, right? And then we can then have all this come to Greg, and then Greg and I and Greg will talk and figure out what we need to do to sort of make some improvements. It's hard for one person just to go through and do the entire district, or even a two, but you're really wanting what's happening within your block in your area, so if we can get those other people to help join in, it's really reaching out to the community and actually getting a little more involvement for downtown, so we should hopefully be finished up. Yeah, and I'm hoping, so if you guys have any ideas of any businesses in these blocks, so I don't have,
Copy of it.
block 1, block 2, block 3, so if you say, oh, I have somebody that would like to do it, please let me know, we'll send, and I'll email this out, or Greg, if
Well,
you
you
can
might
email
wanna-
it out.
Might wanna
I'll
send
share
it
it.
to everybody.
Then, and if somebody has an idea or knows somebody within those blocks, then that'd be really nice.
And the names on there are not necessarily confirmed, they were just thoughts.
Yeah, so we have to double check everybody, but,
I think I put you on there, Jason, without asking.
Okay. All right.
The 300 block, the photographer,
Yes.
Cook?
yeah, Jason,
Mhm.
he would be, cause he kinda likes to be supportive, and he kinda likes to rebel rouse, so he would be, I think, an appropriate candidate for consideration.
absolutely.
We'll put him on there, we'll ask him.
Him and Robin, they walk their dogs
Oh,
every
yeah.
day, so.
And he is the third generation. And Jay and I both knew his grandfather, who, incredible, but yeah, it's a family thing for, 50 years now, probably,
At least.
at least.
They've also, what's his name, Green?
Richard Green?
Yes, thank you.
He's dead.
Wait, the one who's working with Cooks. There's
Richard, that's a Richard Green as well.
It's also, okay, I was waiting.
Yeah,
Green,
Sorry.
he does a lot of the sports and different, like,
Richard Green.
events, yeah.
yeah, Richard Green, who used to work for California.
Oh, that's what you. Okay.
So he sent us a few emails regarding like grease stains and whatnot, so that's been taken care of with the pressure washer right in front of their property. So they are keeping an eye on their part of the street, which is nice.
The Green's camera guy, his name's escaped me.
Rich.
He would be,
Richard Green also.
no,
No,
the man,
another guy now.
the other guy. And
The other Green.
I can't think of his name.
But yeah, so there's a few blocks that we don't know people, or, like, I probably should go through the list, actually, the business list and the addresses, and see if we know somebody, so we'll pass this out to everybody, and then, so that you guys can say, oh, I know somebody that maybe would be interested, and I just feel like it's
I
a
would
real
be
good
glad to
all.
help, I know a few of them, yeah.
Yeah, so it looks like my block, it's like we're the only business and the rest is county, it looks like.
Right.
Crazy.
So, you know, maybe we know about a person at the county who does a lot of walking around or something
Yeah.
like that, but we don't
Well, I
know.
might be able to have somebody in my office.
And you've got a brush and a
Yeah,
spray-
so like what's the,
spray
is
stuff.
the idea just to cruise the block and then if
Like
there
when you're
are
walking?
issues identified,
Yeah.
then
Yeah,
When you're
buzz
walking and
somebody like,
then
hey,
then
we
just-
got a mess over here,
Yep.
you send somebody down or.
yep,
that's it, you just
Right.
email Greg
Exactly.
and then say, hey, look, there's a mess here, hey, we noticed that the landscaping's torn up here, can you
Got
guys
it.
fix this? Okay.
that's
More
literally,
eyes the better.
It's
yeah,
just that everybody's looking.
Yeah.
more vested
Is
interest.
is the Californian building in that too?
You know, that,
In that block, it's hard
Yes.
to
Yeah.
tell.
It would be, it should be.
Yeah.
I think I'll
Okay,
lump you in there with that.
I think it is, yeah, across
Because
the
that one is
street.
getting tagged and all the windows are broken
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
believe there's
Well,
probably
if you
some
see
squatters
something on
in
that,
there.
let me know, cause I manage for that owner anyway, you know, I just don't
Yeah.
manage that, I refuse that building.
Yeah, because what's his name, Jorge's
Why'd you
selling it,
refuse that bill?
trying to?
Because, I mean, you can't rent it out in its current condition. Like, I mean, I gave my recommendation of what I feel you need to provide. And if you do that, then I'll be able to do it, but, I think we're just on different pages at the moment.
They've been trying to sell that for about 3 years.
They're just trying to rent it, they wanna maintain it, I mean, and they have plans actually to
43
have,
units or something?
yeah, apartments down there, like luxury apartments, and it's beautiful, it would be beautiful, you know?
It's just really expensive
It's
to
just-
convert the building into.
Yep. Exactly, it just costs a lot of money.
So they, I
It's
remember
awesome.
the plans, they were like 11 or 12 units and some commercial downstairs.
Yep.
It's like
It's
48.
More units,
Oh,
well, they're
was it?
large units, they're luxury,
Yeah.
they're nice with some commercial, you know, but it would be, I mean, the
The original.
rendering
Yeah.
is
The
beautiful.
original person that was interested was gonna be 40-something.
Yeah.
But this one's smaller,
Yeah.
because this is,
It's a great building.
different.
Well, I mean, the problem is, because it's just, I mean, it was used for years as a newspaper distribution, right? So it's like a single purpose, the way it was designed, so unless you like completely gut the inside and spend $1 zillion, the easier solution is to raise the thing,
Yep.
and then, but isn't it like have some historic components?
The only thing that's really historic is the
That'd be a
facade on
nightmare to do.
the facade,
Well,
the rest
it's
is
a-
built in the late
It's an art
60s, I
deco, it's a
think.
great art
Yeah.
deco building, both interior and exterior, so that, to raise it would be problematic.
I know, well, my fear is that if, you know, then if nothing will ever happen there,
That's
you know, but then we'll
exactly
just have
right.
some building that's gonna continue to get dilapidated and it's
But the
gonna-
warehouse
and
part of it
eventually
is
it's just gonna
new
need to be
ish.
torn down.
Or reasonably.
Yeah,
That's what
I mean,
happens with these
there was a
historic
bid on
buildings,
it, like
that
I,
be repurposed.
like the bid to build on it for those units was like 12 or 13 million,
Yeah.
right? Like,
For
so,
how many units?
like 4 commercial underneath and like 11 or 12 units. So, I mean, that's almost $1 million a unit, right? Like, that's a lot, that's just a lot of money.
Take a while to recoup that investment.
Whether,
I mean, financially, when you're looking at the numbers, it doesn't make sense.
no,
The newer piece that was added on, whatever year that was,
late 60s, 70s?
that has a, I don't know what you would call it, but it goes underground. And that's where a lot of, I believe, oil and things like that have gone down in there.
So like a sump or something.
You have to,
So there's contamination
yeah, there's
from
contamination.
printing ink
But the
and,
contamination may only be from that, where that building started, the new portion.
yeah,
May be the only thing that you have
So
to.
where was the
I
new
don't know.
portion, cause there's
that's
like
where the
that-
presses were.
Now you look at the
'Cause they actually
California,
had
and you
presses
see
in there.
like an L coming on the
Yeah, I
market.
thought that was just like
Just
storage
follow-
for newspapers.
Just follow the line of the,
Is that where that Steinbeck mural is, of that
Yeah.
wing there? It's
Yeah, I
nice.
don't know of any like oil and stuff, like I mean, I know there's bomb shelter in there, you
Yeah.
know, and, no, it's awesome, like I walked the whole building,
Bomb
it is
shelter.
awesome, like if you go in there and to take a look
I
at it.
know where I'm going then, you know.
Across the
right
street, you're
the
like,
street.
boom.
It's cast place concrete, oh yeah,
Oh,
it's a hell of a
it's a
building.
really great building, the history behind it
Yeah, I'm
and
sure.
is just phenomenal, I wish somebody could just
It's
pour some
like a-
money into it, but
Yeah.
you know, it'd be great to have like a little restaurant, coffee shop, little stuff right there, have the, you know, apartments so that you can walk
But
across
yeah,
the street,
it's a
right?
great concept.
Or have
Yeah.
an attorney's
Here,
office
they're
right
just
there.
gonna sit there forever
Yeah,
with nothing happening.
but I mean, the
Unless
reason why they
somebody
haven't
tears
developed it,
down.
it's because it's cost too much money.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
If you tear it down, it doesn't cost much, and then somebody's got a clean slate. But it would be,
I don't have that kind of money.
you gotta move mountains to tear it down.
Yeah,
With the historic designation, I think it's got a historic designation, I could be wrong.
There's a historic building in Salinas, that's it.
Yeah.
yeah, I'm not sure about
Taylor
all of
can't do
that.
everything.
So, I mean, anyhow, that's our idea.
Yeah, good
Okay,
idea,
and
yeah.
we'll,
I mean, is there like something that sort of describes like what the expectation is for the block
We are gonna
captain, or
put
are you gonna
that-
put something
we're
together?
gonna put something
like,
together,
I mean, yeah.
like four, like
okay.
3 or 4 points, like doop doop
Yeah.
doop, nothing's
And
crazy,
it's not like all you
just,
do is walk around and check it out
That's
and identify issues, yeah.
that's it. We just want you to sort of be the eyes and ears where we
Yeah,
can't be.
Exactly.
Good project for a new attorney.
Yeah.
No, they have to build
Well, I can
ours.
circulate it to the tenants in my building and then see if anybody, I mean, shit, I'm happy to do who's around.
I mean, on your
Get
weekly
my
walk
steps in,
to the
get my
Rotary or
steps in.
whatnot.
Exactly. I walk by there anyway, usually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just taking that extra step and making an email, you know, is what
Yeah.
it comes down to, but yeah. Well, I feel like that with that, the city may feel a little bit better with us, like, hey, we're really trying to be proactive about involving everybody and like, hey, it's, you know, it's a community effort.
Is there anything more to discuss under land use?
So on land use, no, we had our meeting, we were able to get Lisa there, which is always good because she's pretty helpful, provide some updates. The one thing that's been lingering forever is this, they had this MOU for the parking structure over on the county's property near their building, and they started, like, once the MOU is adopted, then they started meeting, this committee, and they were making progress and doing Cosmos studies, and all of a sudden it just like everything else,
Stop.
now it just stopped and it's collecting dust. And so she says now it's like because the county owns the land, they're the ones that are supposed to take the lead, and then they haven't allocated anything additional in the county budget to facilitate more planning for the structure. There was initially like budgeted item to have Cosmont look at how this thing could potentially be financed. Cosmont is some economic firm or something that came up with some options, but it's collecting dust now, so who knows what's ever gonna happen with that parking structure. But she, this gal Lindsay, who was, provided updates to our land use committee occasionally, maybe Greg, we can find her email or reach out to her and just try to, so we can, if Lisa's saying that it's the county's deal now, well, let's talk to Lindsay and see if this is even something that's
Didn't
on the
Lisa-
radar, if it's gonna happen, or if she needs support from us to try to get it going, politically.
Didn't Lisa
Something.
say she was gonna contact Lindsay?
I think she did, yeah.
But it'd be a
I
good
mean, but it
follow-up.
might be good for,
Yeah.
I've
see if
tried
she'd be
reaching out
willing
to
to.
the
She used to
county.
attend our meetings.
Yeah.
Yeah,
She was there.
and she was a pretty savvy lady as
Oh,
well.
yeah, she was good.
Yeah.
She was good. And then the other thing she talked about, well, the election transition to everything sort of like, they're trying to figure out who the new
Limbo.
council is, what their priorities are gonna be. So she was mentioning that Renee is just now, he's just started, so he's still getting his feet wet, so to speak. And then she talked about the general plan update, which is important, something we probably need to start looking at. She said that their schedule is, they're going to have like a public review draft of the general plan sometime this fall. And then they're gonna have to do an environmental impact report on it, because they gotta analyze the impacts of redesignating certain areas for who knows what, certain kinds of development. And then summer of 2025 is when they expect to adopt it. And the general plan is important because this is like the blueprint for future planning and development, and how this city is gonna grow. So and there's probably gonna be policies about downtown too, that we'll need to do a deeper dive into to make sure that those policies align with what our objectives are for downtown, so I think we just
Well,
need to.
and the vibrancy plan.
And the vibrancy plan, there's an economic development
Yeah.
element, so all these pieces are gonna blend together. So we just need to make sure that this plan doesn't get sidetracked and start coming up with crazy ideas that are gonna make it more difficult to, make a downtown vibrant.
So that is it within the next 2 years or so?
Well, she thought like that early 2025 this fall, that they would have like a public, like a release of the draft for the public to comment on. And I'm guessing what'll happen is the council, because for the environmental impact report, you're gonna need to kind of nail down what your project is. So they're probably gonna have to take the draft to the council to get their blessing on it. Yeah, this looks good. Now we have a plan that you can do environmental review on, and then they'll prepare an environmental impact report that's probably gonna be that thick. It's gonna look at traffic issues, aesthetics, biology, all kinds of environmental issues. And then they'll circulate that thing for public review and comment. And then after the EIR is circulated, they prepare a final one, they'll eventually go to the council for full adoption. We'll go to the planning commission for a recommendation, and then council for full adoption, which she thought would happen in summer of 2025. But just like all these massive planning efforts, I mean, who knows, it'll probably be 2026 by the time it's all over, and people will comment, Land Watch might comment on the EIR, and raise all these issues, and who knows, there'll be lawsuits, I mean, you never know. County, it took them 25 years to update their general plan. So, I don't know, city probably won't be as heavy of a lift, but she mentioned that. And then the other thing she was lamenting a bit about was the fact that there's still all these key vacancies at the city and their staff. Like, they need an assistant director in her department, senior economic development manager, a housing planning manager, so all these like senior positions that are not filled. And then they need a bunch of plan check engineers too.
Well, there's no
So
budget
they've
for
got,
it.
well,
They put it on hold, like on one of the city council meetings.
Yeah, well, it sounds like they're, I mean, it sounded like they were like interviewing or trying to, they were
Great.
soliciting candidates, so I think they have a budget for it.
Well, she had
There's so
hired,
much turnover over there.
she had hired an economic development guy from state of Florida.
Yeah, senior economic development guys.
And
They
he
did
was-
hire this guy.
And he left.
Yeah,
He was only here
resigned.
like 4 months and he left.
February to July.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, I don't know, it's
And it's hard too, I mean, I think this is a lot of the concerns that several, not just the city, right, but that you look at all these companies, it's retaining people to stay here to do the
Right.
job, it's not, you know, and
oh,
it's,
the housing price is so expensive to build everything. So, you have a glut of housing, and that means everything's through the roof, and nobody can afford to live here based on the salaries that they're getting paid.
yep.
So, hence the rent stabilization ordinance.
Goes back to housing.
It's, yeah.
Well, we need more. Let's
How much
supply
housing, how much housing did, they just approved?
Oh, up in the
North.
North Growth area or whatever, a lot. There will be more up there, so hopefully, but I mean, hopefully that will help in terms of prices, at least. But those are all, I think, I don't know if there are apartments up there, or if maybe it's just a mix.
I've never seen.
It's probably single
I've never
family
seen
homes
the
and
whole-
condos,
the whole plan.
Yeah, there's a lot, and I think there's more to come up in that area. I think it's planned for like 15,000 units.
Oh, yeah, it's a bunch.
Yeah, there's a lot, and there's what, 3 different planning areas or something, so I think one has been, I don't know what status is, I think one's been approved, and maybe they've got maps recorded, and they're gonna start building
I
ones.
think that's
Yeah.
Hugh Walker, I think that was Creek, she was
Yeah.
talking about that, and with,
Is it- yeah.
which is exciting, cause they're, I think it's like
You go.
4 or 7 months of, or 700 units or something like that they're gonna do, like that's apartments, that's just the apartments, and then they have single family, like, I mean, so
They're
many
starting
kids,
out
so-
with apartments.
And I'm
Starting
sure
out
there'll
with the
be like
apartments.
deed restricted units, affordable units, and this.
Get those out of the way and then they can start cranking
What
them.
is, so your plan had like, what was that, 15% or something? Was on, for like the parking
Well,
lots, like the
the parking lot.
redevelopment of those, like weren't you talking to the city about affordability requirements for some
the
of your
percentage of,
On,
percentages?
Yeah, on
Yeah.
lot 12.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You end up at 25, wasn't it?
Yeah, we're at 25%.
25.
well, and
Those will
I'm
be
sorry,
restricted
there's-
then, or?
Low and moderate.
You'll have to designate them for moderate, or moderate, okay.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so that's it on that front, so I think maybe when she gets more people over there, maybe things will start operating more
Just
smoothly.
one other quick comment on the rent stabilization. It's interesting now, and I'm sure you've all seen them on Channel 8. There's ads against the state proposition on rent control.
Yeah.
Coming on pretty damn strong. They're spending a lot of money on those ads.
Santa Cruz just passed 10%, Santa Cruz City Council.
What do you mean?
10% of
10%.
all new units?
No, 10% of basically they're mirroring, it looks like they're mirroring the state at 10% for rate increases.
Well, yeah, so,
Well, we
I
went to
mean,
two
I don't know
percent
why
five.
they have to,
Right.
yeah, ours is like ridiculous.
Ridiculous,
And
but,
so I think it's funny that Santa Cruz went
which is
did
way
10.
more expensive, let me
10.
tell you.
Yeah,
But, I mean, anyways, it's
Yeah.
here nor there.
well, our city.
Well, the state law proposition, so right now, you can't do rent control, rent stabilization on units that are older than 1995, right? So there's a state law that says basically you have no discretion to
And that's what they're
deal
trying to
with
get
units.
repealed.
So they're
It's
trying to
cost
repeal
overruns,
that,
yeah.
get rid of that, now it could be new units, and new, like somebody spends $1 gazillion and now they're gonna be capped at rent.
Yeah, so for example,
So
you
that's
know,
what
that's
that
what they're
law
trying to
does.
repeal it,
Yeah,
that's why
it's
you're seeing
horrible.
it so heavily,
Oh,
you
yeah.
know, it just, I mean, you know, you guys just developed,
It's
you know,
expensive.
housing. I just have another client who spent, I don't know, $30 million doing 60 units, and then you wanna control it, like, no one will develop those if you're gonna go ahead and control it, which then we're not gonna have the housing because he's not gonna write a check to pay for somebody else's house, right? I mean, you've
Yeah.
gotta make enough money.
If that
for the
thing
cost.
gets repealed, there'll be no new
There'll be no
rental
new
There'll
housing.
be no new
No.
construction.
Rental housing.
Yeah.
No.
And the problem is the policymakers don't seem to give a damn.
Yeah, well, this is the people, right, that they do float these initiatives.
Oh, yeah.
Then they become constitutional amendments, then the only way you can repeal them is by another initiative. That's why be very wary of initiatives that result in constitutional amendments, because then they're embodied,
Are
and
you
you
trying,
can't
you
do
don't
anything.
say anything
I
in the
say
parking
no to
lot?
them all,
If
that's just
somebody,
for that reason, because, why do we have elected officials, they're the ones that, and then if they enact
Absolutely.
legislation and it doesn't work,
Absolutely.
they can go back and deal with it. You don't have to go get a vote of the state of California to do it, it's just, anyway. I'm pontificating,
So
Get me off my
my
pedestal.
question for you is, do you still believe that the county needs parking structure?
I mean,
Because they took that whole street. I mean, it's one way, and that's their parking.
Yeah, that's about 35 or 40 stalls.
I know it's about 35, but I will say, I think the Board of Supervisors were treading down the right thing with a Leo's possible proposal. If you're looking to save money and just pave over a portion of it,
I understand.
you now picked up X parking
Under
spaces.
our
well,
parking
you-
space instead of a structure.
Yeah,
And until we can convince the city to manage parking, nothing will
Well,
happen.
wasn't the idea that structure was gonna help accommodate some of the other needs, like
Yeah.
customers in downtown, although it is a little farther
It's-
from
that's
downtown.
priority
I don't-
kind of
I don't think-
Yeah,
I
it's
don't
not
think-
gonna serve
I
anybody
don't think-
downtown.
Yeah,
The
so maybe,
county employees
maybe
are
that's-
parking everywhere.
what was the original impetus for it? I mean,
To
it's-
combine city and county
and then
parking.
And their
Right.
jury parking rights and.
And then you
yeah,
can get rid of all those
parking.
empty lots and do something with
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
But if nothing's happening to those lots.
Well, so maybe Lindsay could shed some light on that. Well, look, now that we've done all these other things, it's not a
Right.
high priority. You feel like we can accommodate all of our needs with existing
I don't think it's needed.
structures.
Yeah.
But it does make sense to try to move some of that
Well,
up,
oh, yeah.
open
With-
up opportunities
With
with
the
other areas.
prevailing wage cost, it's,
It's gonna cost 100,000 K or 100K per parking spot.
or more,
Yeah, per spot.
yeah.
So if you
Well,
have 400 spots,
Steve
$40
knows
million.
how much it is per spot, right? I mean, it's not cheap, right?
it's not. It
Then you
was,
start going under and
it was
then
about,
it's even
it was
more.
about 70,000.
70,000.
2 years ago.
That's so crazy.
That's just, and that's not doing underground or anything, it's just,
Yeah.
Some
No, that
vertical
was,
parking
well, that
structure.
was just a vertical structure, but
Vertical
we backed
structure,
away from
70.
that.
yeah.
And then, so where our apartment's going, I mean, we're still a little nervous if something's not gonna, curveball's not gonna come to where it would chase us away because of what rent might get held to. as far as
Yeah, that
increases.
proposition, yeah.
Yeah,
I
so
think that's a big part of it, is Prop 33 passing or not, you know?
we have to wait to see how that's going, but we
Because
have.
once that gets passed, the ordinance will be updated,
So we-
depending on who
It's already
the
in the
council
ordinance.
is. Oh, it says,
It says it,
it's like an
gives-
automatic, if
Yep,
this
automatic
gets,
if
this
cost
gets
of occupancy-
repealed, then all
Yep.
these other units get captured
Yep.
by rent stabilization.
It's already in there. I don't think that when they're writing it, they're not understanding the consequence. I'm like,
So
oh,
No, they don't.
we
you
still
know,
they
haven't
don't
seen
care.
what all that is, yeah.
Yeah.
They don't care.
But we do have a nice design.
What's the, did you have a plan for off-street parking then at that, were you doing underground parking there?
We're now
for the
doing
residents?
underground parking on lot 12.
Lot 12, okay.
Because we took into consideration, we would have ground level plus 3 floors.
Yeah,
So basically, you're 4 floors up.
before you get to the units.
And so there are neighbors
Mhm.
who probably, at some point in time, may not see the sunlight in their backyards.
Shade issues.
So then we kind of took
Yeah,
that
for
into,
an hour and a half.
we took that into consideration. So we're looking at, that we will go
Then
underground.
you gotta
So
figure out
one
what
level-
happens with this proposition, huh?
those are the perks.
Because those are
of-
gonna be, those are rental, they're not, they wouldn't be condos then, they're rental.
No, these are rental.
Yeah.
But was it 1995?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The year?
Yeah,
Okay,
that's
so,
the cap.
well, right now, we don't fall into
Yeah,
that.
you're not
So we
subject
can
to
do
that.
what we want to
Yeah,
do.
yeah.
So how many units on that employee lot? How many residential apartments?
66.
Is the Broom building that full right now? The apartments there, are they all
No,
occupied?
we're about three short right now.
3 short?
3 vacancies.
But it's that time, we're in that time where
People
people
are
have lived
moving
there
out.
and then they've,
Don't renew their leases?
well, they've got other plans now.
Yeah. Okay.
They met somebody at 301.
Yeah.
Yay,
No,
that's
Yeah.
good.
so.
How about Brad's building?
What's the demographic over there? Do you have any sense? Is it like demographic? Is it like younger? Is it
I can tell you,
families or is it like
110
kind of a
units, I have one.
hodgepodge?
Available, they just moved up.
It's a
Right.
hodgepodge.
Yeah,
We have a couple of older
On
people
Abbott.
that are living in there.
like retired
Retired.
folks
I like
and
no
They love it
vacancy.
from that standpoint.
like some young
110.
professionals that are
Then
doing
we
it.
have some young people that actually work for us in
Oh.
So
the
right on
Taylor
Abbott, well, they're,
building,
no.
and they, they've been in there a year or a year and a half. And now they've
That new brick.
met
Yeah,
somebody
yeah,
or
yeah,
something
yeah.
along those lines,
Yeah.
so you go through those stages, those turnover stages from that standpoint.
The school district.
There's a bunch of cases.
But where we are having some
And
issues
then
is
you
on
have
the,
60 markets.
just attracting
So those
the retail.
50 get
Attracting the
huge
retail.
discount
Yeah, cause you
for
got,
teachers.
how many, what is
Have
that,
to be
two
included with
two
this
spaces?
school district.
Ground floor?
For me,
How many?
Not now, they're, not now.
Oh, how many two spaces down there, retail, 2, 3?
And
You
they're
got 6,
Well,
don't
we
you?
have,
2650.
yeah, there's 6 spaces.
6 spaces. so-
2 of those
And they're
spaces,
really trying
2 of
to
those
get
6
good
are
teachers.
are taken right
And
now.
then
They
save
are.
money
Okay.
and buy something, you know.
But the traffic light is also one of the major issues as far as from the retail side.
Well,
Check that out between 11 and 1:30.
all right.
Well, you can't get out of a parking space. Unless somebody is just extremely gracious.
Well, if that's impeding your ability to attract tenants to the space, that's a real
Well,
issue.
why do you think
For where?
why do you think I
Well,
keep harping on the
for
diagonal
the spaces
crosswalk?
in the Bruin building, there's 4 vacant ground floor retail spaces that.
Why do you think I keep
Problematic,
harping on the
that's
diagonal
the-
parking, sir?
Yeah, all right. All
So
right.
from about 11 a.m. to 1:30.
See, I go down,
Yeah, I swap.
I park in that block
They're
for
all the way back
lunch,
to
twice
you.
a week.
Yes. Well, I mean,
In
you know,
some
and it's,
cases, I think they're all the way back to you.
I mean, commercial
Oh,
has
yeah.
been slower,
Oh,
like my
yeah.
commercial buildings have been sitting a lot longer.
Yeah.
You know, it's just, but finding the right tenant, I know, you're looking for somebody specific. I mean, look, what I'm looking at, like renting my commercial units, I'm looking at things that are specific. But like I had a property that was vacant on Main Street, I'm just renting it, like, they've been vacant a year. So it's just, you know, and I reduced the price quite a bit. And this, my small spaces, they rent like this, like all day long.
What's that
500
like
square
under,
feet.
oh, 500?
5, 6, even 1,000. So if you're at 1,000 square feet, I can rent them all day long or lower, right? So I manage Park Row as well. Man, those go like hotcakes. Like if someone is out, people call, do you have anything available? No, I don't, but the bigger, it's harder.
Yeah.
4 900 square feet. go for it.
4 at 900?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, what's your price per square foot? Is it triple net or gross modified?
It's triple net in there.
Okay. So I do gross modified, just so
We'll
you
talk,
know.
we'll talk.
Okay, and it's only because,
We'll talk.
not only I'm just expressing, like, when I have clients who call me, they like it, because they just wanna know, this is my rent, this is how much money I have to make, you know?
Yeah, triple net's gonna be tricky.
Well, over the years,
But I'll keep it in mind.
I've been amazed over the years, it's, well, you know, my dad got $1.29 per square foot, why can't I get it now? Well, you said vacant for a year, have you thought about going down to $1.10? You know, the mentality of a lot of owners is always been a mystery to me.
Well, some say like, they're like, no, I want this price, and I'm like, oh, and I just lay it out very basic, like just math, right? I'm like, okay, you could have it vacant for this amount of time, I could reduce the rent because you're losing this much compared to what this is. Take the reduced rent, you'll recoup it in 18 months. Otherwise, it's gonna sit vacant for another year and you're losing this amount of money. I mean, it's just plus and minus. Like, I'm like, reduce the rent and then get the tenant in, and then you can slowly increase your rent, you know? As their business does well,
Sure.
you do well, you know? Works out pretty good. So, but not all owners like think like that, you know, you get this. And some don't because they're picky about who they want in their buildings.
Well,
Anybody else on here to cover, or?
That's
And
it.
Yeah.
that was it. Public comment at the end was it.
We're still not the public?
I'll pass.
Passing?
I don't think we're,
Or adjourn?
That's it.
yeah.
I think October 10th, next meeting.